The video for our VGMCon 2026 panel is now live on YouTube. Check it out if you want to find some fun connections between video game composers and a whole lot of stuff. It gets a little goofy. I'm Matthew.
I'm Marty.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Leon.
I'm Shaz.
And we are the Heroes 3, plus Leon and Shaz. Welcome to Heroes 3, the bi-weekly podcast where three friends explore the best, worst, and everything in between in the world of Asian cinema. And this week we are continuing our beginning of the year look with friends. I don't know. I don't have a name for this arc. I'm going to say it's looks with friends. And that is with, going back to our bread and butter, with 1978's Enter the Fat Dragon, directed and starring our beloved Sammo Hung, and like everyone, all of our favorites are in this movie. This is a classic of the kung fu comedy genre. But we have guests this week, Leon and Shaz from Hong Kong and beyond.
Yay.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, yeah.
Oh, we're so excited.
This has been a long time coming. Yeah, we've been cooking this one up for a while.
Yes, Shaz has been dodging, but she's looking forward to the subject matter today.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's quite a lot
That's
of dodging in the film, I'd argue. So.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Carlos, I'll kick it over to you to kind of bring us into this movie. I can imagine why, but...
Yeah, so 1978. I've mentioned this a handful of times on our podcast over the years, but I don't think you can pick a better year for Hong Kong cinema. And when I was asking our guests today what they would like to talk about, there really wasn't any deliberation, right? I think it was an immediate answer that we were going to talk about Enter the Fat Dragon. And there's no thinking about that on my side either. It's a great one, and
it really is just kismet, because there's only a very small handful of films from this golden period that we've sort of held back from talking about on the show.
Yeah.
And so, we're just so happy that the perfect time has finally arrived.
Yeah, and before I pass it over to Leon and Shaz, this is directed by Sammo Hung, and I mean, honestly, I think this is maybe his third directorial film.
Yeah, that's right.
Warriors 2, we haven't talked about on the podcast, but honestly, if you were to ask me where the best jump kick in a Hong Kong film was, that's my easy answer. Eventually we'll talk about that film, but interesting take here. I think when you hear the title, if you're not familiar with the movie, you're immediately gonna think either this is a parody or a Bruceploitation film, and I feel like I am at fault here as well, but this is a film that I kind of wrote off for a long time because of that.
Oh, sure.
And it wasn't really until far into my love of Hong Kong cinema that I watched the film. And once I did, I really understood what was happening here. And it's honestly, I feel like it's more a love letter to Bruce Lee in a way that no other Bruceploitation film is. And I think very fondly of this. And it's perfectly placed in this kind of almost low budget kung fu comedy where there's some really fun rough edges to it that I'm sure we're going to talk about. But I would really love to hear from Leon and Shaz. And again, like, just so excited to be able to talk about this film with you guys. What's your history with Enter the Fat Dragon?
Well, we've always been massive Sammo Hung fans, and Shaz has always had her own sort of patch of films that she discovers, finds, likes, loves. And I think it was you were looking down a list of his titles, weren't you, one time? And you're like, what's that? And Enter the Fat Dragon. And I was like, well, I've never seen it because I had the same preconceptions that Carlos did. And I'll hand it over to you, Shaz, because you saw the title and you said, let's order that.
Yeah, see what it's about, see if it's any good. You know, saw that there were people in it that we knew. So, I'm so glad we did.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it was like a love letter to Bruce. And it can fall in the Bruceploitation category, but it also seems to attack it at the same time, but in a fun way, not in an aggressive way. And it seemed like all the other films at that time, or a lot of the other films that were being done by these guys, they seem like they're sat a bit more back in an older setting, where this is a bit more contemporary. And that was kind of unusual in '78, especially if you look at the modern Shaw Brother films. And this has a kind of a different look and feel to it. And I think that appealed to the both of us, thinking this is something different. And Sammo's doing something like this with something to say within the film quite early on in his career. Quite a change from like the Iron-Fisted Monk, which came before it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and a good element of comedy, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it's such a great point that Sammo has something to say about Bruceploitation during the course of the film, but like the entire tone of the picture, everything is very easy, very breezy. He doesn't have too much of an axe to grind anywhere, and he really could, because Sammo is someone who actually had a relationship with Bruce Lee and appeared with him on screen. He could really sort of take that pedigree and run with it, but he's not too concerned with that, and instead I think just his incredible filmmaking sensibilities really take over, and it's just an entertaining film whether you have a background with Bruce Lee or not. I would argue. I think the thing really stands alone, actually.
How about you, Matthew?
So yeah, I hadn't seen this. This had been one that I, going through lists for the podcast where it popped out, and I was like, oh, sure. Just it's a good name whenever it makes you make that's your reaction to it. And and watching through it, it really was. Some of it was kind of what I was expecting of, like, hey, it's Sammo doing Bruce Lee stuff. But it really was just a super fun, like, both. It is very much a parody, and a lot of Sammo doing his best Bruce Lee impersonation. But I think is just kind of speaks to the caliber of performers at this time, that
Right.
that they can just basically be doing a riff on Bruce Lee and make just as good, if not better in some cases, of action set pieces. And it's cool going back to this era where, like, Yoon Bu is not a starring role in this, but he's in a ton of the action set pieces, as well as a lot of our kind of character actor favorites. And then the storyline, like a lot of early Sammo's films, starts off kind of strong and then just kind of completely loses it and just kind of ends, which is a delight. And then you get surprise blackface. But we'll get to that later.
I didn't catch that.
Nice. I had a thing that I was realizing, and actually I think it goes back to our Odd Couple episode, where when I was watching that for the podcast, I realized that how much more clever the movie was. And you get used to seeing a lot of these period films from this era that have a lot of gags and have a lot of kind of broad comedy, and you kind of get settled in to things. But when I was watching that film, I realized how savvy, how it was almost like kind of poking fun at it. Was a kind of a satire of what we're used to. And when I was watching this film for the podcast, that's the same sense that I was getting. Where yes, I did say, of course, it's a love letter, because there's so many details in this film that you can tell are riffing on what we love from Bruce's short filmography, and also like his mannerisms, of course, and stuff like that you would see in Bruceploitation. But at the same time, I think they're just so smart in how they pepper it into different scenes. It's not like, okay, we're gonna redo this scene from Fist of Fury, or okay, we're gonna redo this scene from Way of the Dragon. It's giving you almost like bullet points sprinkled into the action in a really smart way that are, like, I guess for lack of a better term, Easter eggs if you love Bruce Lee's work. And I really love that we're covering this after we've talked about Bruce Lee so much in our summer arc some years back, because I feel like that's really prepared us to really recognize those as we're looking at this film. So I really wanted to make a point to say that, because when you see, I mean, obviously you hear the title, it's like, oh, this is a joke. I do think that it's kind of living in both worlds, where it's at the same time a joke as it is like the most respectful way you can exploit Bruce Lee. I don't think anything really does come close when it comes to Enter the Fat Dragon.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like it does feel like an homage and a parody more than an also ran like a lot of the Bruceploitation stuff. I don't know. It's funny. It's trying to be a straight up comedy, and it's way more respectful, I think, to Bruce Lee and his legacy than a lot of the Bruceploitations.
There's literally a moment where he's almost pointing at the camera, saying, Bruce Lee was my hero. Like, you can't like disrespect him like that. It's like so totally awesome to see that. And like what you were saying, Marty, how it's like, Sammo having, a actual working relationship. And you can see Sammo could probably have been one of the crew members on The Big Boss that was getting angry hearing that Bruce was being paid so much more than him and his, guys. But at the same time, I feel like Sammo had a lot of respect for Bruce in a way too. And it's really cool to see him kind of craft this film in a lot of ways in honor of Bruce Lee.
Also, I think what audiences might not expect if they're coming into this for the first time is that the movie, acknowledges the existence of Bruce Lee. And like you were mentioning, Carlos, that our hero, played by Sammo, is someone who loves Bruce Lee. And we get to see posters of him. But again, kind of in keeping with the overall tone of the film, I feel like they never really kind of belabor any point here. There's just this kind of breezy, glancing touch at each of these ideas, including kind of the mention of Bruce Lee. So it's like, while he's a fan, his fandom doesn't really kind of dominate the entire film. We do kind of get going story-wise, and pretty quickly we're kind of concerned with this guy and his little cast of characters around the restaurant and everything. Also wanted to just briefly mention before we dive into things, I think the English title is really great at kind of grabbing our attention. And like as Shaz said, that was maybe part of the magnetic pull to getting to watch the film. But folks have kind of rightly pointed out that if it's really parodying any Bruce film, it's really more Way of the Dragon. And actually the Chinese title is more of a riff on the Chinese title for Way of the Dragon, which is roughly translated to Dragon Crossing the River. And this film is Fat Dragon Crossing the River.
Love it.
And
biting satire.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the literal translation would also be a pretty good advertisement for the movie.
Yeah, that's I was just going to say absolutely what I thought. Way of the Dragon is more parallels with that film than any of Bruce's other films, because obviously you've got the country bumpkin aspect, which Sammo did and Bruce did in Way of the Dragon, and then you've got the restaurant with all the characters that work within the restaurant. And even when you get to the end fight scene, you have like three main villains at the end of Way of the Dragon. Mm-hmm. You have Bob War, Wong In-sik, and Chuck Norris. And this you got Lee Hoi Sang, Leon Yan, and I forget the name of the boxer chap, the
white guy.
Yeah,
David Nick.
Yeah, and David Nick. Thank you. So quite a lot of parallels there, and I think that's obviously got to be conscious decision by Sammo, and I really like it that he's done that and mixed all the elements together as well. Really nice sort of broth of a kung fu movie.
Oh, broth. Yeah.
That.
Perfect.
Yeah. Appropriate.
Okay, so I think that we're pretty set, but I did want to talk about the physical release that
yes, I was curious about that.
Yeah, I wanted to. So I shared with you guys a rip of it's a German Blu-ray release by Thunderfist Productions. Yeah, and I guess we could do a back of the Blu-ray, but my German isn't that great.
Get Marty to do it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But that's really the only HD release that we have right now. And we talked about Bruceploitation, and there's that Clones of Bruce Lee Blu-ray set. I don't know where this sits, if it would be able to be released alongside some of those other films, but it would be great to see it more widely available, because honestly it's pretty hard to come by right now.
And I think it's something that had kind of fallen in the cracks, because for folks that grew up with the film, they would have set it on the shelf alongside all of the great Golden Harvest and seasonal films. But I think there weren't many films produced by H.K. Fong, and I think their rights were in a little bit of limbo. And I think to this day, it's a little murky as to really who owns them internationally. Which incidentally explains actually why quite a lot of films have yet to kind of be showcased in this kind of golden era that we're in right now for boutique Blu-rays. But yeah, it sounds like this German company had either the courage or something else to kind of go straight ahead. But yeah, I'm so glad this exists, and also that they've gone the extra mile to create this really interesting reconstruction, which is probably what I just interrupted you from talking about, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna kind of rope Leon and Shaz into this, because I know you guys also have that Blu-ray, and it's got a little bit of extras here. So you seem to be pretty familiar with it, Leon.
Yeah, we've had that Blu-ray for quite a while. You've got a commentary on there, haven't you, from the podcast on Fire Guys, which I think has been taken directly from the podcast and just transplanted on. I know when we covered when we covered the this on the channel, because Shaz was all over it, we had a company reach out, another company, and they were saying, "Oh, this is a bootleg. It's not official. You shouldn't be supporting it." And I'm like, "Well, it's the only copy I can get my hands on." I said, so therefore that's what we're using. Yeah. And that was the Vengeance pack. We put out, they're another German company, and they put out loads of great kung fu films and fantastic media books. But I presume they were just trying to give us their heads up. But I thought, well, there can't be any legal ramifications for us. We've bought this, authentically through Amazon. And yeah, we've still got that same disc, the same one as Carlos. And which version did you watch on it? Because there's two versions, isn't there?
Yeah, so I actually, because I'm a nerd, I watched a couple of the versions on the set for the podcast. But yeah, so there's the export version, and then there's kind of like what Marty was saying, there's like a reconstructed like Hong Kong cut that actually splices in lower quality footage from, I believe it's
from the VCD, I think?
Yeah, something like that. A DVD or VCD release that so a lot of the cuts kind of, they trimmed out some of like basically the gags, which is funny to me because the movie is mostly gags.
Yeah.
So it's like why would you cut a more, I guess, serious version? But anyways, there's varying runtimes, that maybe between 5 and 7 minutes of difference of runtimes in each version.
Yeah, I was gonna say that dub version is like 83 minutes. It's very short, which is kind of nice. Right. But yeah, it cuts out some kind of goofy bits.
Yeah,
but it has that classic dubbing crew though, so it is very, very fun.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mister, tell me where the lift is.
The lift? There ain't no lift around here.
I know some country boy. I know that every building always has a lift in it.
Maybe so. Hey, if you find one, let me know too,
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
It's nothing.
Yeah, they've done that with a lot of releases, the Germans. They didn't like the goofy comedy as much as us, like, say, the stuff with Dean Check in a Kung Fu movie. They'd, like, take it out and give you, like, a 20-minute shorter version of a Kung Fu film to try and make it a bit more serious. And I guess their tolerance...
It's very stereotypically German.
Yeah, their tolerance not the same as us. But Shaz particularly, you love the humour side of it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, really makes me laugh. And it's just so silly, some of it, isn't it?
No, it's
Like the bit
terrific.
with the bananas on the bus. I mean, that just gets me every time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what on earth?
So good.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, do I know you?
On the bus yesterday. You gripped my banana and wouldn't let go.
And yeah, and somehow you end up kind of going with it as kind of a little meet cute because it stays just on this side of the line, sort of.
Yep.
Yes.
And yeah, so I think that pulls us into the movie. So let's get this going.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll get this going. But first, let's take a look at the back of the VHS. Ah Lung spends his days in the countryside tending to livestock and dreaming of his hero, Bruce Lee. His uncle sends him forth into the big city, but his simple ways and sense of justice tangle him into the complications of modern society. Every time he tries to do good, he steps into more hijinks, but when push comes to shove, the dragon is unleashed. Sammo Hung brings you a loving exploitation of the legend. Enter the Fat Dragon! So yeah, our movie begins with seeing Sammo as our Ah Lung character is, kind of doing his Bruce Lee impersonation while feeding a bunch of pigs out in the country.
I think those were
and-
CG pigs, so I kind of feel okay about this. Scene. Yeah.
Yeah, he does kind of hit the pigs a little too much, but it's not far from the worst animal cruelty we've seen in a Sammo Hung led film. So, but that leads to his grandfather or whatever saying that he should go into the city to become to make something of himself, and that gives us our intro in the classic red room fighting off a bunch of dudes with the credits going over.
Yeah, we get a nice little Yunbyu moment here. We should mention he does appear in the film and works as a stuntman, but in a couple of really blink and you miss it moments, and this is maybe one of the more prominent ones.
Seeing this in HD, yeah, it's a really fun chance to recognize everybody in high def. But besides all of these greats like Mars and Mang Hoi and Chung Fat being in here, I do really think this sets the table for the rest of the film in a great way, because really there are references in this minute and a half sequence to all of Bruce Lee's major films. He's wearing his outfit from The Big Boss. He's using like the Kali sticks that you'd see in Enter the Dragon. He's fighting everybody. They're wearing karate gis. And there's even like slow-mo from Way of the Dragon here. So it's so cool, like just seeing how much they care about Bruce Lee's work to kind of make sure to add all these little details. And then that it lands on such a great gag where he's gonna do a drop kick to Yunbyu, and it actually like wakes him up out of his daydream, and he's kicked through the boat.
And now he's sinking. Yeah.
And to have like his director card on the opening title, it's him sinking in a boat. It's perfect.
And as in keeping with so many of other Sammo's great films, he's really prepared to make himself the butt of the joke first. And I don't know, there's just this sense of like a great host of a party. And yeah, what a way to kick off such a fun movie.
Yeah. So yeah, now Bumpkin in the city, like Leon said. There's a bit of gags here. We get our banana gag, and one of the sequences cut out is a gag where you've got the bus driver. He's got a radio listening to a horse race, but the outcome of the race is influencing his driving, which is really, really fun.
Really cute.
Yeah.
Also, we should mention what a new audience member might also be surprised about is that this isn't a period film. You could maybe kind of imagine it based on the opening, but once this fat dragon crosses the river, we're in like present day Hong Kong, which is also such a gift and makes this, a special little time capsule.
Oh yeah, there's some amazing 70s outfits.
We get to see, so many of our favorite folks, and we're going to see Har Kong Fung not too long, but in period appropriate attire, and I think it's all really special flavor to this film.
Yeah, lots of great jeans, flaring out jeans and jackets, and it's a gift. A gift is a good way to put it.
Oh, it's beautiful to look back at 70s Hong Kong, isn't it? 'Cause it's so much different now, as we discovered, going recently. And
Oh yeah, awesome.
I just wanted to add on that opening bit where he gets wet when he does the kick through the boat. That also left us with the gag where he's wringing out his jacket, and the policeman stops him because he thinks he's taking a bit of a tinkle against the side of the building,
that's
doesn't
a
he?
great one.
That's one of my favourite parts. That
So good.
It's just such a Hong Kong gag where it's so ingenious you've never thought of it, but it's also so childish and
Yeah.
wonderfully silly. It's just great.
it wouldn't be a Hong Kong movie without a pee joke somewhere, would it?
Yeah.
So he goes into town and discovers his uncle's noodle stand, and bumps into. It turns out that the woman they saw on the bus also is there, and we kind of meet our initial cast of characters. And I do love that he's wearing his traditional outfit the whole time next to everyone else, and never changes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention earlier that I was glad that Marty mentioned period film, because even though this is a modern film, it does really feel like the framework and everything could totally be yanked up out of it and make it a period film, and it would work just as well.
Literally, the only thing I think that wouldn't work is that there's the gag near the end with the cars. You couldn't do that in a period film as easily, but pretty much everything else you could just completely transplant it to 1900 Hong Kong or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it has so many kind of classic beats of kind of the great kung fu tradition that we love. And just want to call out the screenplay was by Ni Kwong, who worked for years in the Shaw Brothers system and wrote the screenplay for
everything,
36 Chamber,
Yeah.
Executioners.
What didn't he write the screenplay for?
Yeah. It's funny too, because when they're panning into the city when he's coming in, there's that same building from the finale of Mighty Peking Man, and I believe he wrote that too.
There you go.
Yeah, when Lung shows up at the restaurant, we see that it's his uncle, and they're in kind of like a competing space with another little restaurant stall. There's even a line drawn on the ground where certain customers are, they separate between the restaurants. But we see his uncle is played by Feng Feng, and how I mentioned just recently, he's Harkong Feng's father. But I remembered something else, and I couldn't remember where I heard it, but I think it was in there's the Clones cast, it's a podcast about Bruceploitation, and Michael Worth, who is kind of the mastermind behind the Blu-ray set. He's one of the co-hosts and kind of the brain on that podcast. He mentioned it there that Feng Feng actually was the director for The Kid, which is when Bruce Lee was a child actor. That was his breakout role, and he was the director for that film. So I thought that was kind of exciting to see that connection in this movie here. But yeah, Along is put to work, and he's meeting his the people that we'll be seeing throughout the rest of the film. And Kao is a young man who's also working here at this food stall, and pretty quickly you realize that he's kind of in with some unsavory folks, and one of those is Harkong Feng. And one of the things that they ask about is if he's ready to kind of join them, and Kao mentions that he's it's something about his artwork. Actually, I was like, wait a second. Yeah, he's talking about drawing. And
this ends up feeling like a very modern, AI mid-journey art ethics kind of parallel.
Nice. But yeah, that's the first seed of this situation. But then we get to see more into Alung's character, and he's set to deliver some food, but he sees that there's a robbery, and he can't help himself but not chase these guys down. And the other thing that we always have to say is that this is shot in Hong Kong amongst the civilians of Hong Kong, and you can tell that literally everyone in the background is
Just looking at the
Staring
camera.
at
just
Sammo,
staring
yeah.
and enjoying them filming this film. So
Mhm.
it's really fun to see everybody's reactions to the things that are happening. But yeah, they do chase away into an alley, and then he beats these guys up, and the almost gets caught by the cops. And there's an interesting little bit here where there's a kid that kind of is like backing him up at the end when the cop is questioning, and he has a very specific answer. He says like, "I'm junior police officer number 46," and I feel like maybe there's a joke there that I don't understand. But anyways, when he goes back to get his delivery food, it's empty. So he's good-hearted, but he's causing trouble, and that's what happens through the rest of the film. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that this is the first in years, the first time that we're seeing Fung Ging Man in one of the Heroes 3 episodes. And he would,
Oh yeah, you're
I don't know
right.
if you
It's
guys
true.
remember, but I think it was the first year of the podcast where I
He
quizzed.
was in like every.
He was in like
Yeah.
every single movie
Yeah,
we watched.
it was
Yeah.
Wu Ma won. Like Wu Ma was in
Mhm.
everything, but
Yeah.
Fung Ging Man was right behind him. And again, yeah, he looks like he could just be in a period film and the way he's dressed.
Mhm.
But it's a really funny gag where Lung's buying
Yeah,
sunglasses.
think of him as sort of the classic old man if you're having a of the kind of golden period. If you're having a hard
Mhm.
time picturing
Very
his face.
distinct face.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But this bit with the sunglasses is so great because Lung is looking at a poster of Bruce Lee with sunglasses, asking if he looks like him. But there's a pig wearing sunglasses right next to that, and that's what Fung Ging
He's
Man
like,
is
oh,
reacting
it's a
to.
spitting image.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, poor Sammo doesn't know what he's aiming for.
Yeah.
Although it's really funny because I feel like this is one of the thinnest we've ever seen Sammo
Yeah,
on the
it's such a
show.
Oh
cool
yeah,
point.
great
Like,
point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like obviously, it's fine, either way. But he's what, like he's in mid 20s or something at this point, like very young.
That's wild to think about. There was just
Mhm.
some photos of him because there was a big award ceremony in Hong Kong, and he seems to have slimmed down, but I guess it's a result of some surgery that he's had.
Mhm.
But there's some pictures of him kind of zooming around on a scooter, so people are
Love it.
like taking a lot of pictures of him and Joyce at this award ceremony.
Oh, I love it.
That's funny.
Yep. But yeah, so some crazy nonsense happens too where we've got some wise guys that are trying to get free food, and there's a full table of guys, and you can tell they're all our stunt guys that we love.
Mhm.
But they don't want to pay. They kind of want to talk their way out of it, and things get a little heated when Kao steps in, and then Lung beats the crap out of all of them, and we see some really great nunchuck work. Yunbyu has a pair of
Yeah.
nunchucks on him. Him and Chung Fat have great like falls into tables in this shot, and we should mention that this food stall's in a little tight corridor. It's pretty small.
Yeah,
space.
it's interesting. Like it looks like I don't know. It kind of looks like it's an alley, but like there's a back to it. I don't know. It's cool. I'm a big say design nerd, so when I was looking, I was like, I don't really know how you would like. I don't know. This kind of looks like someone just found a place and set up a shop. Like I'm not sure you'd pay rent for this.
Yeah, I also kept. I wasn't able to scratch this itch, but I'm like, I know I've seen this location before. Did anyone else have better time at kind of?
I'm not sure.
Like, yeah,
Mm-mm.
but yeah,
I
it's
didn't.
just
I'd believe it.
it's
though.
just perfect. And honestly, you could almost kind of imagine like Way of the Dragon if the restaurant was kind of transplanted to this kind of environment. I don't know. I think it would have worked great. But
Yeah, I was gonna say no one, no one is in the nunchuck fight says "Mamma
Yeah.
Mia," so that's one thing against it versus Way of the Dragon.
Nice.
Yes, and we're also missing the dragon whips his tail, but
Mm-hmm.
but the what he does give us is really good. I mean, we don't in the UK we had a lot of nunchuck scenes cut out of films,
That's right. Yeah.
even down to like the Pink Panther where there was like nunchucks in it was all cut out. So when we see it nowadays and they're all reinstated, it's like such a treat, especially when somebody can use them, because I find like not everybody has that skill to make them look really good on screen. But Sammo, he's so adept, and it's like he's not really pulled them out that many times. I think maybe in this and Skinny Tiger Fatty Dragon, but other than that, And because he's so good at it, you would have thought maybe he might have used it a little bit more, but I guess maybe not, because it's associated with Bruce so strongly that he thought, I don't want to look like I'm just doing that all the time, because he had 3 films, didn't he?
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe it is out of a kind of deference. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Curious for you guys.
Yeah,
Does
'cause
it
the other
feel a
film-
little dangerous being able to watch these kind of unedited nunchuck sequences?
Does it make you want to go beat up your neighbor friends with?
Well, I
nunchucks?
always had access to them because my brother used to instruct Wing Chun when I was younger.
Oh wow!
And
so
he was a massive Bruce Lee fan, which was my gateway in, of course. And he had a pair of nunchucks, and I'd always be swinging around, hitting the wardrobes, etc. And these things now, I don't know, 40 years plus on, there's so many indents on them. And I remember when Shaz said, "What's all these little marks on them?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's when it's caught off fingernails."
Oh, sure.
And boy, does that hurt!
Pain.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh man.
Yeah, so highly recommended.
Yeah,
the
as
film.
much as you want to see somebody use nunchucks, you're almost just as excited to see them whack themselves.
Oh yes.
That's every time I see nunchucks in a movie, I'm like, I would instantly whack
Right,
myself in the
right.
face. I wouldn't even try, and it would just somehow hit my face.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
But Sammo can do it. Yeah, but like anything, he means well. But even at the end of this situation, you can tell that his uncle's like, what
It's
are you
look at the
doing?
mess,
Like,
basically.
my place is ruined. And also you get the sense that these guys will be back. And sure enough, they do show back when Lung isn't around, and they destroy the restaurant and put a couple lumps on Feng Feng as well. And Lung does show up shortly after that, but he still pleads with him not to take revenge. And at the same time, Kao is kind of veering closer and closer to our organized crime guys. Yeah, you get the reveal that they want him to do counterfeit painting, and I love that they show, what is it, Napoleon crossing the Alps.
Yeah.
Nobody will know that this is a fake.
I even think about that side. It's funny because they literally introduced in the previous scene that Cal wants to be an artist, and then the next scene is, we want you to do counterfeit
else,
paintings
yeah.
for us, or else.
I want to know who painted that pig with the sunglasses on. That
Oh,
was pretty
man,
nice.
That's really good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Frankie Chan, actually. No.
Yeah.
Probably.
We
All over the
we
place.
can mention him too, because he's on the music
DJ.
credits.
Yeah, no, he was spinning some great discs on this one.
Oh yeah, and yeah, of course there is the Enter the Dragon theme in a couple of different scenes, and some other very 70s Waka Chicka
Yeah,
kind of songs going on.
Yeah, there's some great cues in this movie, and I really like the more goofier cues. And actually, I wonder how much of it some of it seems like it could be original.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we just wish we knew more. Yeah, so now Lung needs a new job because his old job got destroyed. And he goes to the ladies. The banana grabber will help him out.
Yeah. Ah-chan.
And
Not a euphemism.
yep.
And it's such a great beat that it's not the moment you expect where she would roll her eyes and be like too good for this bumpkin. She somehow
Mhm.
plays just, I think, the perfect note where it's like she's sort of amused by it, but it's not like she's unrealistically, I don't know, gaga over this boy or whatever. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it's great. But her and there's another girl who's kind of a secondary female lead.
Xiao Wei, I think.
Yeah, they're both working at this restaurant, and he goes to them asking for a job, and he quickly gets hired. The boss is like, you can do dishes and get this guy set up, but at the same time, see that there's some foreign troublemakers.
Yeah. There's this guy that's perving on one of the waitresses, and I do love that in the original audio,
Yes.
he's speaking in English, and there's some great reads in that.
That's better. Because Chinese Kung Fu's no damn good. No damn good. Yeah.
我話中國功夫唔使讀啊！
But in the dub, he's speaking in French.
C'est bon. le kung fu chinois est la merde. C'est la merde.
What did he say?
He said Chinese kung fu is useless.
Because there's the gag about them not knowing what he's saying.
Yeah, I love that. That's actually kind of inspired.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, no, it's smart because we have seen some movies before where with the person speaking in English in the original audio, they're still speaking English in the dub, which just kind of makes the people are just kind of saying the same thing twice instead of it being a translation thing.
Yep. But we're doing the Way of the Dragon kind of foreign troublemakers. And we get Long roped into this, and he does the same thing, except we're not going into a back alley. We're going out into the front of the street with like 1,000 civilians watching, all smiling. And it's a bit shorter of an interaction here. We already saw some nunchucks, so we're not going to get those displayed. But 1, 2, wallop these guys, and they make their way, and Lung is our hero.
And we should say Chinese Kung Fu #1.
Chinese
Kung Fu.
Oh yeah.
Chinese Kung Fu is no damn good, is what he says in the English
We
version.
gotta drop that audio in there too. It's way too good.
Definitely, yeah.
It's a bit of a trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
The restaurant where you always get the disgruntled Westerner. It's been put to good use so many times. Like, Better Tomorrow 2, Eat the Rice scene, which has become
Eat the
legendary.
Rice. So
And of
good.
course that like
I love it.
every
I love
Guilo is like obsessed with Chinese Kung Fu, that they even know about it to insult it is great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, and so like Har Kung Fung and his kind of sidekick, Lu and Lei, they're kind of threatening Kao now. He's the taxi driver, and they put some keys to his car and actually pretty easily remove the door off of his car, which is awesome.
That one just stuck out to me is that they take his car door off really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
which
wonder
is
if there had
kind of
been like a
impressive, I
Hong
guess.
Kong Formula One team, like how I don't know how fast that pit crew would be and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, like the pit crew.
Nice. Har Kung Fung needs to be in the team, yeah. And the pit crew.
I do love whenever Kao goes into the restaurant to get some help from Sammo. He just says, "Hey, can you watch my door?"
Yeah, he literally gives him the door.
He's carrying the door with him.
Yeah, super good. But that's basically the setup for an even better
Oh my
gag that
gosh,
we're about
incredible.
to see. Where at the restaurant outside, we've got the chairman of the company shows up, and he parks his car just in the perfectly bad spot because our two thugs, they also have the same kind of car, and they're primed to get vengeance upon by Lung. But what he doesn't know is he's tearing up the wrong car.
And I love the way Har Kong Fung
course,
plays all
and
this. He's like, there's
Oh, yeah.
really this like I don't know shrug of indifference, which our bumpkin can't really read properly.
Yeah, Along is the whole time like, "Oh man, I bet you're getting pretty pissed off about this," and he's like, "Not really."
Do you think that this scene's a bit of a precursor to what we get a little bit later on from Sammo? Like, the only thing it's missing is perhaps Richard Ng and John Sham.
Yeah, I was thinking this is
in the
such a Loki
background.
Stars little beat. It's really, I'd love to see Richard
really
Ng,
is.
like pop up behind one of the windows or something.
Leon, I thought you were gonna say the bonus round in Street Fighter 2
Oh
where
my
you're
gosh,
damaging the car.
Oh yeah, absolutely, that too.
Yeah,
See,
nice.
Sammo was well ahead of his time when
wasn't
he
he?
covered it
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely. So this plays out great, and when there's the reveal, the boss, there's a little back and forth with our female lead, and she's trying to keep him from looking out the window. There's actually a really fun aerial shot of Sammo smashing the car up too. I really like that attention. Yep. And he smashes the windows, he paints it all up, he scratches it all up. And the boss comes out like, "Hey, how much do you think this is gonna take, to pay him back?" And he still doesn't really wise up until the last minute where it says like, "This is my boss's car. What's wrong with you?" And it's just
So good.
really fun.
I want to know what she thinks, what she thought she was going to hide by closing the curtain. How's she going to cure that situation if she stops him from looking out the window?
Yeah.
I read it as she's just hoping she can block it long enough for Sammo to not be very clearly the one doing it. So they could at least pass it off that maybe someone else did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So dishonest.
Yeah, it does make us like even more fond of her. And I think is Ah Chen the character name, or Chen? It's another one of those situations where
Chen,
sometimes we have a little bit of variation between the dub names and the subtitle names, but portrayed by a Korean actress actually.
Yeah,
Lee Hae-suk.
Yeah,
Lee
Lee
Hae-suk.
Hae-suk. Yeah, she's fantastic in this, and appeared in a handful of Hong Kong films through the years as well.
You'll see in the subtitles either she'll be Chen or Jan, Jan. It's pretty fun.
Love that.
But like any fun Hong Kong kung fu comedy, the real villains may not show up until halfway through the movie.
Halfway through.
But how will you know if they're the villains?
we get to.
Is there any kind of?
Oh my god!
Is there any kind of visual
Haircuts.
signal?
Well, one way you'll know is because they're played by Roy Chow. That's a good way to know that you're a villain.
Oh, yeah.
Another Bruce Lee connection.
Another Bruce Lee connection. Yeah.
And another Temple of Doom
and
connection.
this is where we're
been
introduced.
making a lot of lately.
Yeah,
Lao Che.
of course. And of course, we this is whenever we find out about our villain, who's we see him briefly, but we get to see him more in these next few scenes. This monocled Professor Pai and his 3 henchmen, who are a black quote unquote karate master, played by Lee Hoi Song in blackface with the wig.
You place the quotes wherever you want. Yeah.
A kung fu master played by Lung Karyan, aka Beardy, and a boxing master played by David Nick, who's not really in anything else, but he's does a good boxing.
And
fight
Peter
this.
Yang-kwan as the professor is, a scene stealer. It's maybe 80% wardrobe, but 20% his eyes and eyebrows, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Literally the monocle popping out, like it's so on the nose. I love it.
Yeah, he's such a caricature.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned Dean Sheck earlier, Leon, because we could totally see him right here.
This is a very Dean Shecky kind of character.
Yeah, he definitely could have fit into this role, couldn't he? Quite easily.
His fraternal twin or something.
Yep. And I love when they're describing these 3 bodyguards. They get their own little spotlight. And actually, we see Chu Chi-ling for just 5 seconds.
I mean, looking like it's almost plucked straight out of Snake and the Eagle Shadow or something. But we love whenever we get to see him on the show.
Yeah, and I also love the very regal theme of this villain. Anytime he shows up, there's this music cue that's really fun.
Yeah, so good. And also, any great fan of Sammo's filmography, as soon as you get a glimpse at Beardy, hopefully you're rubbing your hands together and you know that you're in for something great. Actually.
So we have a really fun set piece coming up, and
this rich party.
Yeah, there's Roy Chow is kind of like the ringleader for. He's like an underboss, I guess. He's got his own situation. And he's Harkon Fung's boss, but he's trying to impress our professor because he's loaded and he wants his money. So he says that he'll set up a party. And at this party, what we find out is that the professor is wanting for like long lost love, and he's pretty unsatisfied when it comes to the women in his life. But of course, our Chen here is the striking resemblance of his long lost love, and he must have her. But at the same time, we've got a hilarious situation where Lung is kind of at the bar and he's being asked for certain drinks, and he seems to have no knowledge of liquor at all. and Kao
You
says
get
that
some fun wordplay. And,
yeah, he'll take over, but he needs to go fetch a certain type of alcohol, and he asks how will he know, and he says it'll be the strongest one. You got to taste it. And then smash cut to him getting loaded because he just tasted all of them.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, you expect at that stage, don't you, that you're going to get some serious drunken boxing come out, but we don't quite go there. We just get his kung fu slight bit more. What's the word? He's just off a little bit, isn't he?
Right.
He's off his game, and
sloppy.
no actual drunken boxing. And I felt like, I wonder why he didn't stick that in there, because I'm pretty sure Sammo could pull that off quite easily. But missed opportunity there for me.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him go full on and dive into a bit of drunken boxing.
I wonder if that might get chalked up to some of the same instinct we've already talked about, where like Sammo doesn't seem to be kind of cashing in on anything sort of cheap, and even the kind of Bruceploitation stretches of this film have a kind of, I don't know, sort of respectful distance or unique point of view or something. And I mean, Drunken Master is still so fresh at this time, and the imitators hopped on so quickly. I don't know. I wonder if this is totally just projecting, but I wonder if Sammo is seeing maybe some of that is beneath him at this point in time. Yeah, who knows though? It's a great question.
100%. 100%. I think it's bang on.
Drunken Master actually came out later in the year than this, so it might have been just like, and it wasn't as much in the air yet. But Drunken Master came out in October.
Nice.
And Inner Fat Dragon was in July. Thank you, HKMDB. You are the real heroes.
Very good grab, Matthew. That must explain it.
This scene kind of piqued my interest too, but it was in a different way, because if we're thinking about like Bruce isms, these really, like the animal styles and the drunken situation here, lie outside of what I know of what Bruce was interested in. And actually, he got in a bit of trouble in San Francisco when he was starting to teach. He would do demonstrations amongst his martial arts peers in San Francisco, and he was kind of criticizing traditional martial arts. And what he would do sometimes is he would be able to perform animal style like perfectly, but then what he would do is he would show you why it was wrong. So he kind of drew the ire of a lot of the more traditional martial artists in San Francisco. And I think it's interesting in this film that there's only really a couple moments where it strays away from Bruce's kind of style, and here being one of them. And it does really serve a great purpose, and I think maybe it's just Sammo understanding, hey, this is a kung fu comedy, and I really kind of want to make sure that we're executing in the way that I feel like maybe somebody going to see a film might want to see, like for a period film, and maybe injecting that into the movie to add a little variety to the action.
Right.
Because I mean, really, they cover pretty much all the bases when it comes to Bruce Lee's movies, and then seeing this in addition to it is kind of refreshing. And of course, it's a really great action sequence, and we see a lot of dudes getting thrown into pools and stuff like that. So it's kind of a curiosity to me. I like that we're kind of sticking on this scene a little bit.
Yeah.
Mentioning that bit with the pool, have you noticed that bit when he throws the guy in the pool? I'm not sure if he's on wires or not, that guy. I couldn't tell, but Sammo has him right above his head. And that looked to me like, I'm like, bloody hell, has he really done that? I mean, I presume whether it was maybe he had a hand getting up there, but it, it did look proper powerful. And I'm thinking, I just can't tell. I don't know if your eyes could like pinpoint any wires or whatnot, but
no, but I did notice that, and it's a wide shot too, so you don't see anybody like near him that could have assisted. And I mean, Sammo's known for being a pretty powerful performer,
right.
So yeah, it's pretty impressive seeing somebody get tossed like that. I was thinking, man, I would probably have just dropped him into the pool, not literally thrown him.
Yeah. It's a definite way to put your back out, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a really fun bit too where before he does the animal styles, he says to Park Hong Fung's character, he's like, "I'll make you some Chinese food."
Yeah.
So then he shows him the different animal stances, which is really great. And actually, even Beardy, there's a moment where you see him in the background. He's kind of laughing at Sammo doing his thing, which is really, really fun. But yeah, so what happens here is he does end up kind of wandering towards Professor Pai's men, and they give him some lumps. So you get a really kind of a standout of, hey, these guys aren't pushovers like everybody else is.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to mention too is amongst the stunt performers getting beat up here is Johnny Chung, and you'll see him in a lot of stuff. But again, drawing Bruce Lee connections, he would be like kind of the main fighting antagonist in the Dragon Bruce Lee story.
Oh.
Which we have covered on an April Fool's episode.
Yep, a few years ago. That's funny.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Oh, also, before we leave the party behind, if you aren't watching the Hong Kong cut, you're going to miss out completely on Eric Tsang's little performance. And Eric was also behind the scenes, I think, kind of assistant directing from what I remember.
Yeah, I saw that on the HKMDB, and then because I watched the dub first, and then kind of skimmed through to see the added scenes in the other one, because most of them are pretty obvious because the quality is so much lower. And yeah, I saw him there. I'm like, oh hey,
he's supposed to be sort of like spoiled and recently come back from America.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a flash of who he is later on as well, because other sort of roles of him in this period, he's like mainly like kung fu support roles, isn't he?
Yeah.
But in this, it's like Eric Tsang from the Lucky Saw films and everything that came afterwards. So I guess that's the first time we've seen that kind of caricature performance of his, where he's playing that funny guy that we all came to love and adore. So very strange. Very strange they cut him out on the other version. But
so then through a kind of weird series of coincidences, our leading man ends up on the set of a Bruceploitation movie, which gets to have lots of great kind of, I don't know, I feel like jabs at Bruceploitation.
This is all
like
so...
He's got the big sunglasses.
So delicious. And then Huang Ha plays kind of the choreographer, who is also one of the assistant choreographers on this movie. And he's so great in the part. And just this idea of, a genuine fighter coming on to like a Hong Kong set and not knowing his limits and ultimately just saying screw it and just trying to beat every living person up is it's pretty delightful, I think.
In the original audio, they mentioned the title is called The Death Appointment.
So good. Oh my God.
Really great. But again, we're seeing a lot of our favorite performers. Even Lam Ching Ying's hiding in the background on this one.
Oh yeah. Mr. Vampire himself.
Yeah, we love to see him. The thing that I thought was pretty funny is it's very obviously kind of like riffing on Fists of Fury. You see in the background the poster. It's in Fists of Fury, it's like wushu, like martial arts is the character on that poster. But in here, it's nin, like the ninja kanji, which I thought was pretty funny. And even that, I feel like is, hey, letting you know, hey, we're one step away from authenticity. I thought that was pretty good. One of the things that I actually don't think I ever mentioned when we did our ninja arc is the kanji of nin, like in ninja. It's actually like formed from two radicals, and like the top half of nin is actually the kanji for blade, and the bottom half is kokoro, heart. So heart and blade make up the kanji for ninja.
Wow, that's digging deep, colleagues. That's digging deep.
I had it in my notes, and I was like, I don't think I ever mentioned this.
No,
but
that's terrific.
Anyways, it's pretty cool.
It keeps on giving.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shaz, this is your favourite scene in the film, isn't it?
One of them.
Or one of them,
yeah. No, I just love Sammo doing his Bruce impersonations.
Oh, man.
The mannerisms. It's just, and he just wanted to be like, you're not good enough to play my hero. I'm going to show you.
I mean, he's arguably one of the best imitators we've ever had, I think, of Bruce.
Yeah, I think so. Even though, some of the others might have looked physically more like him, when it comes to those little nuances, like the nose rub, which some of the other guys overdid to the point where you thought you're not going to have a nose in a minute. Sammo seems to get the quantity right
Yeah.
of what's
Right,
required.
right.
And then you've got this guy who's a prime sort of example of a Bruceploitation actor, and that obviously rubs him up the wrong way. And we both thought, didn't we, that this is where he's having his little say there on, pay respect to the guy. He said,
Right.
but do it in the right way. It felt like
Yeah.
him making a statement there, and I think that makes that scene pretty strong on a number of different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, I think of, Tarantino having Bruce in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This scene, and Mike Moe is portraying Bruce Lee in that movie. And I think he looks great. He looks so awesome. But one of the things that really stood out to me, not being a hater, but watching the scene and kind of, feeling like I know about Bruce Lee, but not any more than anyone else. The thing that I thought was so funny is that when Bruce is fighting Brad Pitt's character in that movie, the first thing he does is a jump kick, and I'm like, if you know Bruce Lee, if you study, about what he thought about martial arts,
Right.
or with Jeet Kune Do, all of this stuff, that's absolutely the last thing you would ever do is a jump kick, giving yourself away to whatever,
Right.
And I even think about in fighting games, in fighting games,
I knew you were going to talk about not jumping
yes,
in.
I can immediately, if I'm playing somebody and the first thing they do is jump, I know either you're just goofing off or you have no idea what you're doing. Because you're totally giving away all your options.
Write that
if you
down,
jump,
folks,
because
if you're just getting started.
Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't jump. First block.
Oh no!
But
it always goes wrong. I've seen that in an actual street fight situation as well, where
Oh, no
somebody's
kidding.
come out and
Oh, man.
busted out a flying kick, and the guy just caught his legs, and god, yeah,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
that did not end happily for the chap. It did not end happily.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, I mean, I think what you guys are saying is so true. I think if you're gonna pluck a scene out of a movie, this would be able to appreciate it in so many different levels. And we should mention too, Tony Leung Siu Hung is the Bruce
Yeah.
in this scene, and I mean, notable in his own right.
Future choreographer. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I think that Sammo, he's talking to the viewer, and I think he's speaking to anybody that really loved Bruce Lee, treat this dude with some respect. If you're going to be riffing on him, at least know what you're riffing on. It's pretty awesome. And actually, it's really funny that when he puts the beating on everybody, as that is expected, the last guy is Chin Yuit Sang, who we've seen in a bunch of stuff. He's got such an amazing... Sammo's grabbing his nose, and then he spins him around and smacks him. And Chin Yuit Sang does a 360 spin and falls and does the death rattle that we love in Hong Kong films.
So good.
So this leads to our next scene, which is kind of the beginning of the end of the film, where Harkon Fung and the other bad guys, in the guise of helping out at the restaurant, they actually drug our Chin character so they can kidnap her, which causes Lung and Kao to go on the chase, which is another an honest to God banana peel gag.
So good. But yeah, really kind of diabolical their scheme, because it's roofing her soup and then claiming that kind of white knight protector. It's something's bad, we'll take her to the hospital, and
no good.
Absolutely no good.
No
But
good.
yeah, this running on two levels gag with Sammo, where there's just no time to wait, so the car has to get going, but he keeps trying to catch up with it. Yeah, it's just fantastic, and so many great Hong Kong moments that we love. It's wonderful because it's not really faked. It's we're seeing Sammo run pretty amazing distances, and we've mentioned before, we're also getting this great snapshot of Hong Kong frozen in time that it's just really special.
I really liked how when they're trying to find out who took her, Shu Wei, she says, one of them had a square face. And I was like, oh, damn. They got Harkong Fung. Got him.
No, yeah.
That was really funny. But yeah, so they capture her, and we're seeing a warehouse now. Roy Chow and his men, and the professor and his men. Now we're setting up this finale. Yeah, there's like a gag where they're gonna chloroform her, but the professor's like, I want to do it, and he chloroforms himself.
I can't think of ever seeing this gag before. It's so clever, I think.
Very, very funny.
Yeah, nice.
I love that. That's kind of a recurring thing too, is that Roy Chow is like very, very much doesn't like.
Yeah,
having
he's
to
sort
be
of
involved
long-suffering.
with this Professor
Yeah,
Pi
it's
character. The running, all the great shots of Sammo running and Hong Kong, and again, it's me being a city nerd. It's really cool seeing like how all the streets are lined up, and I love how it's him running and riding a bike is as fast as the taxi is to get.
And here too, I think is a little, I don't know, Winners and Sinners energy ahead of its time, or Lucky Stars kind of attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, put him on some roller skates.
Yeah.
I love the way he gets in the taxi when it's already at its destination.
Yeah.
You know, he's done all the working out, and the other guy's like, you coming or what?
Oh, man. That is so good. Yeah, so, I mean, but we're setting up for the finale, and it's awesome. So we knew that we were going to fight these 3 guys, and it is just Sammo straight up, hey, it's like in King of Fighters, you have to team of 3 characters. So you got to defeat one to get to the next one. And there's a fun little moment at the beginning.
Is King of Fighters that the one where you should jump kick right away? Or
there's no air blocking in
Very
King of
same.
Fighters, Marty. You know that.
Such an idiot.
But he like appeals to Beardy. He's like, hey, you know, you're Chinese. Like
These guys
the
are
other
like
guys.
not human. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let the other guys
Oh my
fight.
gosh.
So they settle on the order, and it's Li Hoi Sang in blackface. Which, I mean, we're joking about this. That's horrible. Don't, please don't. But I mean, it
Yeah.
is, you know,
Li Hoi Song is a really good fighter, so like it is a fun
Yeah,
fight.
and
just-
it's just
you know.
staggering to picture this like Sammo versus Lei Hosang here, and then just next year Sammo versus Lei Hosang and Magnificent Butcher,
yeah.
and you couldn't be in 2 more wildly divergent
Yep.
fight sequences, and that is a testament to Lei Hosang. I mean, he's just incredibly versatile guy. Yeah, I don't know how to contextualize this. I mean, plenty of people have written about this, but I also think there's yeah, I don't want anything to get clipped out in.
Yeah, you better be careful, Marty.
Horrible way.
Just take it easy.
There's so to say it's unapologetic is like missing the mark. It's like it's so open in what it's doing that I don't know.
Yeah.
you might have to watch
Yeah.
it to get a sense of what's happening here.
And
I think it's because it's such a different time. I don't think they're even that conscious of what they're doing, are they?
Yeah,
It's
there is
like-
that. There's
it-
like a child, like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Glee.
something.
I mean, you could liken it today to like you've got like something like White Chicks, so
Yeah.
it's done in reverse. So maybe
Yeah.
that was kind of the thought
well,
process.
yeah, and yeah, they don't have the full context of like, you know, minstrel shows and the really horrible racist stuff in American history. They're just
Right.
like, I don't know, it'd be funny if you looked like a black guy.
well, I
And
mean,
I've seen someone have the
boils-
take too that this is an extension also of Sammo's jabbing at Bruce kind of exploitation and some of the
Yeah.
maybe kind of, you know, international roster of fighters that are coming after
Yeah.
him. But we're not interested in kind of apologize for anything here, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we're
it's-
definitely
there-
not.
you can't
No.
look away. So
Yeah.
there's something that you kind of have to engage with this.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yes.
even remember
And-
doing it, did he, Li Hoi Sang? Because I saw
Oh, right.
an interview with Mike Leader somewhere, and he said he talked to him about that specific scene or that specific film, Enter the Fat Dragon. Li Hoi Sang was like adamant, I've never done that. And Mike Leader was like, you did do it. And then he's shown him the clip, and he said he just cracked up laughing, said, I can't believe that's me. He said, I have no memory of doing that at all.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh,
That's such a great
crazy.
story that he's not trying to like lie about it. It's just like literally blocked out.
Yeah.
Well,
Deniability.
It's whenever you do, dozens of movies every year.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, we haven't mentioned it, but I mean, we're talking about Jim Kelly in Enter the Dragon. Of course, that's why we're seeing this being sent up in this film. And I mean, Jim Kelly, just an icon of Black culture in cinema, and I mean, Blaxploitation, in its own way, is built out of what we're seeing in Enter the Dragon. So, we're definitely not defending it, but it is such a wild time of cinema in Hong Kong, and we've seen so many questionable choices, but we love all this stuff, and it's not that we're promoting that, of course.
Absolutely.
And Lei Hoi-sang, just an amazing screen performer, and we see that here too. Actually, he gets the shortest fight out of the three of these guys, which is kind of surprising, but
It's a shame.
we do, even like in this fight there are references, so like Sammo's like finishing blow to him in this is like referencing Bruce killing one of the like murderers from Fist of Fury. It even does like the echo on his yell at and that final blow, which is really cool. And then we move on to the next fighter, who is this American boxer. Honestly, he reminds me of is Glass Joe in Punch Out.
Oh my gosh, really?
A little
He
bit.
looks
yeah.
like him. And
That's funny.
Who wore it better, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're seeing shades of Way of the Dragon here. There's some moments that are directly kind of ripped. The other thing I wanted to mention too is that it wasn't like they had a VHS tape where they're referencing these movies.
Exactly.
We do have to say that in 1978 the appreciation for Bruce's work is completely based on the dedication and seeing his stuff in theater, or whatever. It's not, you're not looking up clips on YouTube and emulating them.
Yeah.
So it
like you might have stills in a book, maybe, but otherwise, unless you had the film reel handy, then you're just going off of what you remember.
Yeah. So there's the whole idea where Lung is kind of matching the footwork of the boxer, and then there's a slow motion exchange similar to what we see at the end of Way of the Dragon with Chuck Norris. And even actually, it's so funny that the end sequence is actually like Enter the Dragon reference, where it's like there.
And we're back. So, behind the scenes, Carlos's power just went out from a crazy lightning blast.
It was like in a movie.
But he is now podcasting over the phone in the dark because we're that dedicated, and also we're pretty close to the end of the movie. So,
I think I was talking about our boxer.
Yes.
Forgive me if I'm retreading some stuff, but
no, you're good.
I think what I was saying is that at the end of Enter the Dragon, when Bruce is fighting Mr. Han, there's that hilarious shot where he like kicks a dummy, like the head of a dummy.
Yeah.
They kind of call to that when he kicks the boxer. And then after that, it's like when he kicks O'Hara, there's that slow-mo shot of him getting kicked in the chest. And that's what we see here, but he's getting tossed into some boxes.
Yeah. And I really love the like effects on David Nick's face after the kicks. Like it's pretty brutal.
Oh yeah,
really.
Which like the makeup of his like the mark where he got hit.
I don't think he had to act much though, did he? Knowing Sammo, that's going to be like he's going to be feeling the weight of some of those blows, because even back then he would have demanded the best. That's just the way he is.
Yep.
At the beginning of the movie, when there's that dream sequence, it lands on him kind of going for the Bruce Lee stomp. And knowing it's Sammo, you just kind of get scared for whoever's going to be getting jumped on. It's pretty funny. But so now our final villain is our beloved Beardy. And this is a
Oh
really
my
fun,
gosh.
another instance where we're breaking away from Bruce-isms and just giving you what you want to see with Sammo and some of our favorite
Yeah.
high-level performers.
Worth the ticket. This is just
Mm.
a absolutely
Yeah.
stellar sequence in a period that's just replete with incredible final fights. But yeah, this is just terrific. And seeing
We
very
get a
very
little weapon
traditional
work too
forms,
with
very
the
great weapon work. Yeah, so good.
yeah, with like this like staff and this ring. It's cool because there's not really any weapon fighting in the rest of the movie, so it's a treat at the very end.
Oh, it's such a smorgasbord of kung fu, isn't it? You got some of the more modern
Yeah.
stuff, you got some traditional stuff, you got
Hung
weapon stuff. It's just all mixed in together. And if I remember rightly, I think we did a video of our top 5 fight scenes, didn't we, Shaz?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And we had our own separate countdown. Didn't you have this fight?
Yes.
Was it your number 1 or 2?
I think it was number 1. I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause I just love
get
it so
I
much.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Especially when
good.
the ring comes out. It was just so well put together.
Frodo
And,
Baggins
yeah.
over here. He's great.
Yeah.
All about the ring.
I mean, yeah, because he's used that before, hasn't he? Not after that, sorry, in Encounters of the Spooky Kind. And I love watching that weapon as well. So
Yeah.
looks like a tricky, thing to use to make it look effective. But in the hands of Sammo, of course, absolutely looks
Yeah.
effective.
And seeing it counter to the pole it's just looks
Mhm.
Yeah.
really great.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're
Yeah.
mentioning the different styles in play here, and we get more shape style choreography, which is really exciting.
Yes. Yeah, you can tick them off the list, can't you? You got like
Yeah,
Snake Fist in there, all sorts.
yeah, it's like if you had like a bingo card, you get like everything in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
Beardy's outfit. He's like Waldo or Wally, I guess,
Yeah.
for
that's
for
right.
Yuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shade of light.
the striped shirt's really nice.
He put me in mind of a gondola
Oh,
driver.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Especially when he's
brilliant. I
holding
love
the
that.
pole.
Yeah, it just needs the hat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that wraps it up, and we do get a little bit of an epilogue, which is nice, where Sammo's character is like, I'm not cut out for the city. I'm gonna head
Yeah.
back.
And a final
and
gag
get
that
one
may or
last
may not
gag
work
and-
on you. I think the geography of it is maybe a little messy or rushed or something. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, where like it looks like a woman's like falling off, and so Sammo dives in after, but actually they were just hiding behind something or something. I don't know. But the unintentional gag that got me is that in the dubbed version, in the reconstructed version, there's like an actual like final, freeze frame with the end, and like the music actually plays out. But in the dub version, the music does not play out, and like you can hear the the tape player shutting down, like kind of sound. And that destroyed me. So I would definitely put that in the show. But that's Enter the Fat Dragon. A very fun one. It's always nice to find more of our iconic trio in their prime.
And just to steer you the right way, since we haven't mentioned it, there's a recent film of the same English title starring Donnie Yen. That's actually a Wong Jing joint. And prior to it being released, most of us assumed it was a remake, a kind of a more direct remake. And really wasn't, but it was kind of they were having fun kind of invoking the same title effectively. So that's, if you're starting to kind of Google in 2026, you're probably going to get a lot of results about the Donnie movie. But steer towards Sammo for the sake of this episode.
I would say that's Kenji Tanigaki doing the fighting
action.
alongside
Yeah,
Donnie, so you're
absolutely.
gonna get rewarded with some action at least.
Yeah, totally. and some
Have you seen it?
some legendary fat suits. I've only seen clips in some of the fights.
Yeah,
so
I've seen it.
Really...
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I
it's
enjoy
okay,
it.
isn't it? It's okay. It's fun. It's fun. It's not this, but it's got its own level of entertainment. I like again how Bruce Lee's the inspiration directly in the film for Donnie. He's watching his films at the beginning, isn't he? Which is kind of nice.
And yeah, actually, some big money behind that movie. There's some really nice looking set pieces for that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's lavish with its locations. I think is it Tokyo or somewhere else in
Yeah.
Japan? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And there's
Alright, cool.
it's like a top of a skyscraper fight and stuff.
Well, do we have any final thoughts about Enter the Fat Dragon 1978?
It feels very comfortable. I'm glad we were able to return to something like this, and yeah, it's thanks to Leon and Shaz. So I really would love to pass it back to you guys.
Well, I'll pass on to Shaz then because it was your idea. This one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's just such a feel-good film. I mean, I know there's a couple of more serious elements to it, but yeah, I always feel good after watching it.
Just an easy watch, isn't it?
Yeah, just an easy watch.
You know,
and it's fun. There's
agree.
some decent fights in there, and yeah.
Yeah, and you do love it when Sammo's in Bruce Lee mode.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
In Shanghai Express as well, Millionaires Express.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to see him having fun and giving a little bit of devotion or acknowledgement to his hero, and we just think this one's definitely due a bit of a remaster, really, because though we have this disc, which is lovely to have, I think a lot of people are missing out on this one because it's not easy access. It could do with something a little bit more obtainable for the bulk of the fans, and then hopefully they can enjoy it, and then it might encourage people to dig a little bit deeper, a little bit further back onto some of the other actors' filmography, because there is some good films back there that do get overlooked. So and kudos to you guys, because you pick such a selection of titles and you delve into them so well. I don't think anybody does it better. It's your work just seems
thank you.
Your work seems to have got better and better as you've gone along, and it's just a joy to be on with you and to witness it live. And you guys are incredible.
You're too kind.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. You're absolutely fantastic, and it's been a real big buzz for us to do this
Yeah, it's
today.
been great.
Oh gosh, absolutely. Well, and also we just want to mention before we wrap up, this is this hopefully can function as a little bit of a present for our boy Carlos, who's celebrating his birthday literally today.
Literally today. And important to remember, Marty's birthday is the day after Carlos's, so it'll be it's a kind of a birthday episode for both of them.
Yeah, I hope you have a great birthday.
We're working with the federal government to try to move Matthew's birthday legally, but it's we've hit like this wall. We're not sure.
No, this has been awesome. Yeah, it's super fun to be able to share this with you guys, and yeah, it's a highlight of my birthday, so I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, before we completely wrap up, Leon Shaz, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Well, yeah, I guess we have our YouTube channel, so if anybody out there likes to see what's new incoming from Hong Kong, we do get sort of sponsored by companies in the UK to review these films, the new upcoming stuff, and we do have a lot of listing videos, and when we first started, we covered a lot of older films, just random select titles before we got noticed enough to be given titles to cover. We cover a lot of physical media as well, not as much as some channels, but we cover a lot of stuff that comes out in Australia via Imprint Asia. We have a lot of fun with that. There's a lot of streams with a lot of guys from the ACC, the Asian Cinema Circle, as we coined it. If anybody wants to come along and jump into the Facebook group, if they put in a request, if we see it, we'll let everybody in. And we like to encourage other creators, other podcasters to to join it and to go in and to promote the words in there. It's not just about us in there, it's about everybody, and we love to see people interact and do lots of crossovers. Even if we're not involved, we like to sit back and just watch and see. Like, we love watching listening to the Mic'd Avengers as well, Johnny, Jason and Sean. So a little plug for those guys, because they're doing some sound work too. Between them and you and Podcast on Fire, I'm constantly entertained at work. There is not, I can get through work easy because I've got my earphones in and I'm listening to you guys. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. I would say too, we're huge fans of physical media, and I think it's really cool. I believe, is it on the back of Born to Fly? Are you guys on the Blu-ray of that?
Yeah. Yes, we're on the Blu-ray for that, and we're also recently was in what was it called? The Way We Talk, which is kind of ironic, really, because I speak to the woman that is in charge of Central City Media. Occasionally, she calls me up on the phone, and my advice is don't put anything on the cover other than the artwork, and which is going against us being on there. But I do truly think for collectors, you don't want that on there. You don't want so many stars, ratings. You just want a good cover. Maybe stick it on the inside or on a booklet or something, or just on your social media. But don't put it on the sleeve. We don't want it on there. And
that's that's funny. I think it's cool that we get to the level where there's appreciation for what you do in a way that puts you on there. So I'll push back a little bit on that, but I totally understand you from a graphic design standpoint. Absolutely, it'll give me some nice clean art.
Yeah.
I sound ungrateful now, don't I? And I don't mean
not at all. No,
I don't mean to come across like that. I just want them to up their sales, and if it means they up their sales by not putting us on the cover, then I'm happy for them to do that. Put us on the back. Yeah, put us on the back. Yeah. That's funny.
I mean, how do you know they haven't carefully focus grouped it, and that's why you guys landed on there? It's there you go. This is the version that does sell.
Who knows? Who knows?
That's awesome. That's funny. Okay. Well, this has been awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show, then you can check us out on your social media of choice at Heroes the Number 3 Podcast. Do you have an old classic that you think is about time that we finally covered? Shoot us an email at heroesthenumber3podcast@gmail.com. So with that in mind, we should talk about our training for next week. So Carlos, what do you have in store for us?
So this is going to be off the top of my noggin, so forgive me if I get the year wrong, because lightning literally struck my house. But we will be talking about The Twilight Samurai, which is directed by Yoji Yamada, and I believe it's from 2002.
Yes, just looked it up.
Okay, awesome. I got it right. And it's going to be a really great time. We are going to be rejoined by Hiroyuki Sanada on the podcast and a guest.
Well, until next week, we're taking a look at The Twilight Samurai. I'm Matthew.
I'm Marty.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Leon.
I'm Shaz.
And we are the Heroes 3 plus Leon and Shaz. Remember your training. Heroes 3 is part of the Mercado Brothers Podcast Network.